Everyone, welcome back. Today we're looking at the Polestar 3. The price just dropped by £4,000 to £75,900. It is quite surprising because up until now we've been aware that Polestar is a value proposition company. The Polestar company has made it clear that they don't really intend to get involved in price cuts. They don't really intend to get involved with the price war that Elon Musk started with the Tesla company. BYD, NIO, Lucid, a lot of companies are competing in this area with price cuts, with price war. And up until now, Polestar has been quite adamant that they do not want to get involved because they're offering value. As customers get ready to receive these vehicles as well, here's the sudden news that these vehicles have fallen in price. Don't get me wrong, it is still extremely expensive. For £75,900, that's still really expensive. That's a lot of money to spend on one vehicle. And there was a lot of people who in the space thought that this vehicle was always a little bit overvalued. They always thought it was a little bit expensive, to be honest, and rightfully so. Porsche can add these prices to their vehicles because that's Porsche. Porsche has made their name over decades. But Porsche is at a place right now where they can just do whatever they like. Polestar is really new on the market. We're not quite there yet. So I suppose it makes a lot of sense why this is happening. Now, it looks like emails were sent out to customers instructing potential buyers to the configurator that have been sent out stating that the price starts at £75,900 for the fully electric SUV long-range dual-motor guise. This is the vehicle that Polestar claims that can go over 400 miles on a single charge and can tow up to 2.2 kilograms with 483 brake horsepower, 620 pound-feet of torque. It's also the one that has a bunch of sensors in the cockpit to keep an eye on you. Now, this is the same vehicle that was originally £79,900,000 for the launch edition. So is this a new sales for Polestar? It's a big question. Is the Polestar 3 currently on sale? We've known recently that the vehicle has gone into production, and the automaker says that deliveries to the US customers should start in the second quarter of this year. That's a little behind schedule. In December 2022, Polestar said that the Polestar 3 will go on sales towards the end of 2023, but of course that was delayed. And this was huge news. I spoke about this. The Polestar 3 and the Volvo EX90 were both delayed. And I accepted that they were delayed. In fact, I was quite happy with this because I wanted Polestar to make sure that this vehicle is perfect for the market. I wanted customers to be really happy with their purchase. After all, why wouldn't I? I'm an investor in this company. So are many other people who watch these videos. It's not financial advice. I'm just stating the obvious. We generally care what this company is doing and if it's in the best of interests of the customers. Now, currently there's just one powertrain at launch, the Polestar 3 long-range dual motor, which starts at $73,400. That's US dollars, of course. Offers 489 brake horsepower, 620 pound-feet of torque. Now, Polestar is making the Pilot Pack standard equipment, which includes a heads-up display and some advanced driver assistant features. Now, we'd like to really understand how might this affect Polestar long term. The fact that they've already shown that they're willing to drop prices eventually. The price cut of the Polestar 3 model has actually been more than 12%, and now this is Polestar preparing to counter lackluster demands. Now, that doesn't sound good, to be honest, but a lot of EV manufacturers have been struggling with this demand issues. The demand for EVs, or at least buying new EVs, seems to be falling. And a lot of electric vehicle companies, a lot of legacy automotives have been complaining about this. Mercedes, BMW, they've all seen similar data. People are buying less new electric vehicles. One of the reasons, of course, is that it's incredibly expensive. But also, for a lot of people who wanted to buy these vehicles, they've already bought it. The huge demand that we saw has not continued to climb. Not as we predicted. And that was one of the big reasons why a lot of companies were going EVs. A lot of these new EVs companies were just coming out of the woodworks because Tesla was creating huge amount of numbers. There was huge amount of demands, and Tesla was capitalized on it at the time. And for the first time the other day in my city, in Bristol, I saw a BYD. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a BYD Seagull. Looked beautiful, by the way. I just saw it driving by, and I really couldn't believe it. But I saw the shape, and I thought, that's a BYD. And of course, we know that BYD and Tesla are the biggest players in this space. But lately, we've seen Tesla price have actually been falling. And now it's actually making a lot more sense. The lack of EV demand is not just a rumor, it's actually real. It's actually happening. But not just to Polestar. It's happening to almost every electric vehicle company, including Tesla, of course. It's also happening to Tesla. And I have a feeling it's been happening to Tesla a lot longer than the media has picked up. Let's be honest, if Tesla didn't have to start the price war, why would they lose money by lowering the price of their vehicles? So clearly, they saw well in time that EV demands were slowing, and they decided to launch the price war to stay above float. I mean, they did the right thing. They capitalized on a market that made sense at the time. But how are smaller EV companies going to survive if growth isn't the same because the demand is falling? And recently, something that the Polestar CEO said is that consumers are actually scared of switching to an electric vehicle. The price range in comparison to the petrol cars that they buy is actually very similar. Sometimes the petrol cars are actually more expensive. So why aren't they choosing EVs? Polestar CEO says it's because they're probably afraid. I mean, a lot of people are afraid of what's new. Take into consideration, there's been a great amount of people buying electric vehicles, but also those are a lot of people who've always wanted an electric vehicle, just happen to be reliable, like a Polestar, a Tesla, or a Rivian. So we're in a very interesting place at the moment with electric vehicles, where because demand is falling, we have no idea how this is going to affect the next 5-10 years of electric vehicles. I'm a little bit happy because at least it will show that the market is not as easy as it looks. It's a lot more challenging. But how does this benefit me? Well, the Tesla stock price have been falling recently. Polestar has been falling. Rivian has been falling. A lot of EV company price have been falling recently. So not just the prices of the vehicle, but also the stock price, which means I get a huge discount to buy into these companies. Demands will come back. Demands will return. But who knows when this will be? So this decision that Polestar has made, is it strictly out of survival? Do they really needed to make this decision? You know what will prove this is how will companies like Porsche react? How will they react? How will Porsche react? How will Audi react? How will these high performance, expensive vehicle companies react? How will Mercedes and BMW react? They also sell luxury expensive vehicles. How are they going to react? This will tell us if Polestar is making the right decision. And you know what? If Porsche starts dropping prices, then this makes a lot more sense. But here's the thing. Porsche doesn't have to drop prices. Porsche has one full electric vehicle. That's the Taycan. I think they also have the Taycan Cross Country as well, the Gran Turismo. But it's the same thing. Let's be honest. But now they've got the Macan, the electric Macan, that's going on sales quite soon. Will they be dropping prices of that vehicle? Or will Porsche make up the difference with the petrol vehicles that they sell? It's a mystery, but I look forward to understanding a little bit more, because if Porsche drops their price, especially for their new EVs, that it's not just Polestar. Porsche is thinking the same thing. Remember now, Porsche is our main competitor. We're targeting Porsche. We want to be the next Porsche, and that's who we intend to compete with. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you in our next video. Peace.